It is sometimes assumed that the wild frontiers of the world are populated mostly by world-ending abominations. Tales of black dragons and serpents the size of entire mountain ranges are often repeated, but they present a false impression of the wilds. The mundane reality is that while fierce, powerful creatures do absolutely exist, much of the work of monster hunters revolves around managing small pests and troublemakers. The majority of hunters will encounter 0 elder dragons across their careers, and instead spend them fighting hundreds of small raptors and neopterons. But just because it doesn't make for exciting legends, does not mean that this is not a vitally important task. The global economy relies on agricultural and mining operations that lie in the frontier zones and often intersect with monster territories, and keeping them safe is crucial to the continued prosperity of humanity. And while many of these critters are not as imposing as a Diablos or a Devil Joe, there is still wonder to be found in these monsters as well. One of the most persistent and infamous creatures that terrorizes new hunters and frontier businesses alike is also one of the first officially recorded monsters in guild history. It can be found in nearly any habitat, from bogs to volcanoes to jungles to snowy mountains. It is smaller than most monsters, but its temper and behavior has made it the bane of any budding monster hunter. For you never know when a Bullfango sets its dreary sights on you. Covered in bristly brown fur, these boar-like fanged beasts roam all corners of the frontier. They mostly live in groups, but occasionally lone individuals will be sighted. While they are extremely common in the Old World, they have so far never been seen in the New World. Their fur sits atop a hardened shell, and the combination of the two gives the Bullfango excellent protection against temperature and against physical impact. Their wide distribution would already make them a pretty common sight for anyone venturing into the wild lands of the Old World, but that is only half the story. The reason Bullfango encounters are so infamous is that Bullfango have an obnoxious disposition. They are curious by nature and will patrol their territories vigorously. For the most part, they ignore or avoid other creatures, and are able to quickly assess if they should escape from an encounter with a larger monster. Researchers believe that Bullfango have a sort of innate mind map of various things they may see out in the wild and how they ought to respond to them. So, they instinctively know that Aptonoth pose no threat, and that they should probably avoid any area that shows signs of Rathian activity. This mind map is likely passed down from parent to child, and forms the basis for Bullfango behavior out in the wild. However, this reliance on this mind map has the consequence that whenever the Bullfango encounters something that does not fit into it, it becomes flustered and turns extremely aggressive. It is believed that Bullfango may have poor eyesight, so anything it does not see day to day can be unrecognizable to it and trigger this ire. And the most consistent targets of this confused anger are humans and man-made structures such as settlements or facilities, which the Bullfango apparently does not recognize. An enraged Bullfango will charge at its target relentlessly while trying to skewer it with its tusks, and since they often travel in groups, this often devolves into an onslaught of pigs rushing at farms and farmers alike. This is why Bullfango are so commonly targeted by hunters, and why hunters so commonly dislike them. Bullfango are known to interfere with all kinds of human activity, rampaging at merchants, hunters out in the field for different reasons, or even just regular travelers. To add to the annoyance, Their tough hides make them sturdy enough to not be deterred by pitchforks and similar makeshift weapons, necessitating hunter intervention most of the time. When they aren't busy causing headaches for guild administrators, Bullfango live quite interesting lives. Being social animals, they spend much of their time among their kind, traveling and patrolling together. Their primary food sources are underground roots and mushrooms, which they dig out with their tusks. Curiously, every individual Bullfango has a favorite tusk, which is the one it uses to dig out its food. It might be analogous to how humans can be left or right-handed. It's not all peaceful coexistence, however. The Bullfango pack needs a leader, and the position is decided by constant contests of dominance between the males. After winning numerous such contests, the dominant Bullfango will often grow larger than its packmates in a resulting hormonal rush, which will solidify its status and discourage further conflict for a time. For many packs, this is where the social hierarchy ends, living with one slightly larger dominant Bullfango and prowling the lands on search for better food and constantly wary of rival Bullfango packs. But in some cases, for reasons not yet quite clear to the guild, the dominant Bullfango may undergo further transformation. Maybe due to the repeated rush of hormones from their many social victories. Some male Bullfango balloon in size and grow a mask of white fur on their head and torso. These individuals are called Bulldrome. While a dominant Bullfango has to regularly wrestle for its continued position, a Bulldrome is the undisputed boss of its pack. It leads the group fearlessly, protecting it from predators and other Bullfango packs. But this boss also maintains order within its own ranks, reprimanding and punishing any Bullfango that fall out of line. When a Bulldrome emerges, it gains exclusive mating rights within its pack, and only it is allowed to reproduce with any females that join the group. One notable feature of the Bulldrome is that its tusks are asymmetrical. One tusk is quite a lot larger than the other. Which tusk is the elongated one actually varies between individual Bulldrome, and depends on which tusk is that individual's favorite to use for food. The beloved foraging tusk will remain small for continued use as a shovel, while the less favorite battle tusk will grow and become a massive curved spire. This larger tusk serves as both weapon and threat display. The world does not rest on the shoulders of apocalyptic beasts. The biggest and baddest dragons may be what inspire our imaginations the most, but we must pay equal respects to the small, the mundane, the ordinary. Bullfango are often overlooked and reviled, but even within them dwells the wonder that penetrates all of the natural world. Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching. As always, I would like to especially thank all of the people who support the channel over on Patreon or through YouTube channel memberships. An extra special thank you to A. Jackson, Admiral Frost, Alistair in Wonderland, Artur Centeno, Austin, Autumns, Black Ace 202, B, Bruggy, British Empire, Chocolate Coat, Claire Miboon, Darkest, Dragonlord, Dissy, Error Code, Ethan Toombs, Feopuz, Faye/Sleepy Tiki, Fjedden, Glitch NPC, Hubble Himbro Mirror, Harpier, Hashi, Hellbug Hunter, Hutsan, I'm just happy to be here, Inepts, Iron Camel, Jacob Coleman, Jacob the Numbnut, Joey Tribby 58, Magenta Magenta, Julia Benebik, Uriv, Carl de Crab, Kelly Barnett, Kogath, Lexages, Lieferdienst, Logan Bilodeau, Lucidius Flow, Lufish, M1 Have One Too, Macaroni Leviathan, Maka Maui, Makot 02, Mad Hat 124, Meta Defiance, Mr. Pyramid, Molly Mockery, Morgul Blank, My Name Gone, Nils Schlatter, Noah Schantz, Oakwood Tree, Paige Gandalf Soda, Person 212, Precoom King, Punonym, Quali, Rambling Robin, Raspberry, Regal Eagle, Resident Neko Arc, Ronger 97, Rose, Ryan Hook, Skiba, Shebo, Simon Rose, Sir Newt Newt, Soruka, Tacty Wolf, The Dollarfish, Thick, Unk with Jolly Puss, Uth Duna is an octopus, Varaxus, Vulgar Beast, Wandering Soul, Zaffi, Zeno Garcia, Zion HV Augenson, Zyperius Volkvar, and Kuroneko. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you around. Bye bye.